So this is a major coincidence, but earlier this week I put out a poll regarding the next iteration of Monster Taming Spotlight and which game we should cover. Now in that poll I included some 3D titles, and one of them was Volzerk, Monsters and Lands Unknown, and coincidentally it turns out that the game will actually be shutting down at the end of March, and I wanted to talk a little bit about why I feel this game failed, especially because visually and just on the surface it looks like something that people have been asking for, a real-time action combat 3D monster taming RPG, but I think there's so much more to this situation than just this. We covered the game on this channel and I haven't invested too much time into it because of what I'm about to talk about today, but let's start with some of the criticisms of the game. The game is relatively simplistic and has you following the story of this strange girl who's obsessed with monsters, and basically you follow the game's chapters by completing objectives. In doing so, you'll explore the game's open world and come into contact with enemies that you can defeat in real time. The game is free to play and circumvents this by having characters that you can buy in the shop, and has a really simplistic gameplay loop with each character having a few attacks that they can execute. Despite this being a Steam game, it is also a mobile title, which you can really tell when playing the desktop version, because despite the nice visuals, it leaves you just wanting more with its super obtuse, repetitive, grindy nature. It also has mixed reviews on Steam, and a lot of the complaints come from the game feeling like a mobile game, not really having much beneath the surface, especially in the end game where things get extremely grindy and there is a massive level jump. Couple all of this with the fact that the game didn't really market itself, it just sort of popped out on day one, and it does kind of make sense that it's unfortunately being shut down, and I say this because I think that it missed a lot of potential. I've said this in the past, but while some free-to-play games can turn out great, same with mobile, I find that in many cases, the fact that they're free to play actually ends up ruining them, because a lot of the aspects of the games themselves tend to push you towards making microtransactions. So basically they'll introduce a problem and then sell the solution. A game might be ridiculously grindy so that you can sell the convenience of skipping some of that grind, and the entire gameplay and psychology behind it is catered to that. I feel like if Volzerk took the mechanics and art style of the game it has and made a more engaging experience that wasn't extremely repetitive, then it might have stuck around a lot longer. Furthermore, it's also just weird to me that this is a single player game that's shutting down, especially because people bought into the game's microtransactions only for the game itself to disappear, which does feel a little bit messed up, especially if you spent a lot of money on the game. But all in all, Volzerk's an example of a game that can tick off a lot of boxes that people want to see, you know, action combat, 3D, open world, great art style, etc., but still fall on its face because it leaves itself lacking and even steps on its own toes in certain aspects. I also think when I tell people that the game gets old really fast, they underestimate that. I remember recording my Let's Play episodes and I already started to get sick of playing the game after like an hour or two. So while some people who may have played the game might disagree, I've never found myself getting this burnt out this fast, so I'm sure this is what led to that issue as well. Other than that, my buddy Bandit made a video discussing this, which you should totally check out and subscribe to his channel so we can get him to 1,000 subscribers. In that video, he mentioned that the publishers are going the NFT/crypto route, so if the development team decides to make a new game and stay under that publishing studio, we might see them follow suit, so the future of the franchise might not be so bright. Other than that, as per the usual, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all things monster taming, and check out my Twitter, Discord, and Patreon for more monster taming content. Thank you so much to our supporters, especially Jim Hamilton, Dro Ghost, Tragsoft, Candy Marunci, and Nemo, and we'll see you next time. Peace.